What's up, guys? It's Charles here with Rocket Patrol to do another review. No, you're not getting deja vu or anything like that. I'm not reviewing this figure. But as of right now, this was the last figure I believe I reviewed. And anyway, the point of this is I'm showing you this because I got this guy. And then I ended up buying another one like I said I probably would. And I did. Now this is a box for that one. And the new one I got, the box is much smaller. Obviously can't tell you because of the way I just did that, but you can see the box is much smaller. They're both 1/24 scale, so the other one is smaller. I was kind of expecting it to be the same size since it is the same scale, so apparently they're just different types of mechs in the series. Although they do have 1/18 scale, which are obviously bigger. These are 1/24 again. The 1/18 would be bigger. I don't have any of those yet. I might get them. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is the Zeus Machine Armor something MZ. I can't read Spanish there, but it does say something. And it does come with a pilot figure, just as the other one I reviewed did, the Double Swordsman. And it's got some pictures here of the back. Again, it's a nice box, but I wouldn't say it's high-end. It's like a corrugated box with just like fancy printing over it. It's in the, you know, you can tell it's not like made to whatever I'm talking. But this is the figure right here, the base figure without adding anything on. You can see there is a big size difference. Whoops, let's not knock this over. I did knock this over just before this big one fell over and smashed into smithereens, although I wasn't recording for you guys. I know you guys like to see that stuff. But you can see the size difference. I think I paid less than $100 for this. This was like 70 bucks. It was like $30 difference, or maybe even less. Not sure. Anyway, but check out this review. Want to check out this guy to see which one you like better. But we're going to be talking about this little dude. Again, 1/24 scale. The figure, again, very beautiful paint apps. All right, we'll get a little bit closer in there in a little bit. But one weird thing I noticed, and of course I'm going to notice this, is they went nuts. You know, as they should when, you know, detailing a figure. Did a very great job at weathering and doing a little splatter and, you know, doing all the little things that would happen if this robot was real, getting scratched up against things. But for some reason they just like ignored the crotch. So someone in the factory was like painting, like, not the crotch, I'm not painting the crotch, and they left it completely white. There's some kind of like brush marks from doing this, but like just wondering why they wouldn't go and do the crotch. And I'm thinking that they weather these parts not when the figure's together, but after, because like you'll see this half is darker, and once it hits the line it gets lighter, which is, you know, can't really tell on the rest of the figure that it's being done that way, but at least this part here. But again, why leave out the crotch? That's kind of bothering me. Like, why is, like, who's clean? Like, if this was a real mech, who would be cleaning the crotch so much? Really? You know? And it kind of throws it off. But other than that, everything else is amazingly beautiful. Wow, it's so hot in here. I'm just going to get up close before it unfocuses. Let's see how far we can get. Right about there is the maximum that this thing will go. But look at the details on the shoulders. That looks like metal. And there, speaking of metal, there is absolutely no die cast on this figure, as is the case with the rest of the series here. But the figure feels real nice. One of the big complaints I had, I wouldn't really call it a complaint, but it's just the inconsistency. Well, I guess it is a complaint. You know, for some of you who like to have everything consistent and feeling nice, this has very inconsistent also ratchets and articulations. Some of the articulations are smooth, some are floppy. This, in this case, it's not that this is floppy, it's just there's a lot of play in the ratchets. So there's like that much play in between each tooth of the ratchet. That pops off. The ratchets here are really soft. These here, these just tab on. Some of the things that this figure comes with have to be glued. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't want to glue anything. Actually, I like to be able to take stuff off, but it does come with glue. I'm going to get into that in just a moment. But yeah, pretty much the same as the other one, just certain things could be tighter. This one doesn't suffer too much from the tightness. I just don't like the way those ratchets feel at all. Like, those ratchets feel like amateur ratchets. What I mean by that is like whoever designed it pretty much has the idea of what a ratchet should be. but it's very not well executed. It feels like it's just going to wear out at some point, which is always a good thing to have one of these if you fear wearing out ratchets. But I'm not even going to bother. This is some type of like plastic specific grease that I usually use to keep joints from wearing out, but on certain figures it will pretty much make ratchets useless depending on the quality and design of the ratchet. So, but I just figured I'd show you guys that. So the box here, we're going to open this to show you what's in here. I'm literally sweating beads of sweat onto my lips. I don't like sweat the way it tastes, but it comes with glue. So apparently you're supposed to glue certain things, and I can almost understand. I didn't really check this out too much, but again, I don't want to glue anything, and it comes with these little poker things. I guess that's to be able to dab the glue. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it's got little ball ends on this wooden thing. And I found it weird. It says MET, M-E-T-E-R, material from Osaka, Japan, but it's made in China. So I'm not sure what that means. Maybe the glue inside is made in Japan, or the material, what material? I don't know. So it also has the warning here, the same as the other one, that the articulation on the wrists are not, can you see that? It's blown out in my viewfinder here. But one of the wrists only moves side to side, the other one moves up and down. Again, be careful with that. My issue with these little things is just literally a knife in here. Like, can you see that? I'm not even sure if I can show you this without losing it. Oh, of course. But that is a little knife in a sheath, holster. That is tiny. And it's got a little nub there to be able to hook it up to the figure, which I'll show you in just a moment. But like, I don't have fun with stuff like this. Matter of fact, I'm not, well, it wouldn't be a review if I don't show you, but here's the figure. The knife, since there's no instructions, I'm assuming there's a spot here that does look like it's for the knife. See that? I don't know why these things can't just come attached or molded into the figure itself. Like, I don't know who's going to be playing with a 1/24 scale figure to be doing all that stuff. Is this a backpack? What is this? I guess it's a backpack. Not exactly sure which way it goes. This way doesn't look normal, does it? But anyway, see, it just came off into my hand. I guess that's what you're supposed to glue. What else do you get? You get a lot of things to attach. You can see everything here. I'm not going to go and do them because I will lose them. I will lose them, and they don't tab that great. What else do you get? You get binoculars. Are these binoculars? They look like binoculars. It's very hard to tell on the screen there. He's got a bunch of little holster things, little belted packets that go all around his leg here. And he does have this belt, which also has binoculars. What is that? No, those are probably grenades. And what you do is you pop off this here and then attach that. And that's it. That's pretty much all I'm going to do with this guy. Everything else is stuff you glue, but I will show you the weapons. Put the little gun pistol thing here. And the rifle there. Alright, so it's holding both. There you go. That's what it looks like. While we have the figure out, let's just get articulation out of the way. This is not really an action figure channel. That's more my Chachi Power channel, which I haven't done anything in a long time. But I noticed the head does pop off when I try to articulate it too much, so not a lot of movement, although the details on his face are pretty good. His eyes are squinting. I really need a camera that can focus up close. I had a macro lens. I don't know where the hell it is, but it's kind of weird. It won't focus. But the detailing is rather nice. He's been nicely painted. They took care in painting this guy, which is nice. He does have like the upper chest, an ab crunch. He's got like the abs. I'm sorry, it's going out of focus. The middle here, which is separate from the top and the bottom, the hips. And he's got the articulation of legs, a ball joint, swiveling thighs. He's got the double jointed knee. Does it look as weird Does I don't know. I guess it does look weird. I don't know if it looks as weird as the last pilot I was reviewing with the last figure. This one, however, does not have the little toes. So I don't know if this figure came out before or after the one I reviewed. I'm thinking maybe before, because it doesn't have instructions. The other one did. But anyway, let's get that out of the way. Let's put these little things in a bag before I lose them, like I said. Good thing is they do have a little baggie. And let's go ahead and seat this figure in here. Now the interior is not as highly, well, it wasn't really highly detailed to begin with in the last figure, but at least the seats were a different color. You know, very minimal detail. There's not even like a dashboard or any kind of controls there. But the figure does go in. It felt kind of weird getting him in. Like his feet aren't fitting correctly. Like I feel like I have to force it too much to get in there. See, like it's not closing. That means he's not seated right. I think I got him in there pretty good. His head's not going to hit that. This does suffer a little bit from the tackiness and the weirdness of the fingers. I thought that was paint that came off. Paint does not come off of my hands, but it's got that tacky feeling that I was talking about in the last review. Not as much though. It seems like that tackiness comes from like the silver paints, which I tend to find are more the silverish paints that have that tacky feel. This doesn't have much of in way of the silver, although there is a good amount. That's probably what I'm feeling, but definitely not as much as the other figure. Now that we're focusing on the figure here, he does have pretty good articulation. We have the little thing here, up and down. It does have like a ball joint, so it can look left and right, but there's not much to do there. We have the ratchets I showed you, which don't feel that good, and then you have the ratchets this way. Again, they don't feel, if you're used to Chogokin, you're going to be sadly disappointed, but they're there. I mean, they're there, right? And then you have the bicep swivel. Then you have the actual biceps. Are these dual? These are dual. There you go. It is dual jointed there, but it seems like there's a lot of points to scratch there. You do have the ab crunch, which is ratcheted. Unfortunately, you could see some of the plastic that's been unweathered, but who's really looking under there? But the crotch, I mean, I'm looking at the crotch constantly on these things. That's definitely something they should have done. But anyway, moving right along. These little, do these untab? Oh, these are untab. All right, they untab, so just be careful with those. Don't lose them. And we have this here, which, again, it's very loose. This side is just as loose, so at least they're consistent in that respect. And then these ratchet out. Again, those feel pretty even. Alright, so far the consistency in the ratcheting and the friction, this leg's a little looser, but understandable with this kind of plastic figures. And you got the ratchets on the knees. And I really don't like backwards leg robots. They always freak me out. I think this guy's supposed to be, let me take these off. I think the guy's supposed to be much shorter, because his legs are supposed to be like this, but I really don't like that. I like having that, and it gives a little more height to the figure. I think that's how I'll display him. Really don't like chicken legs and things like that, so that's how I'm going to do mine. And it does have, again, the rotating hips. I think I stopped there for a second. And then the knees, and then you have the ankles here. And they do have pistons. They didn't really go too crazy on the pistons. You can see they stick out. I didn't even know what they were. I thought they were like gun turrets. I'm like, why is he shooting behind them from the feet? But it turns out they're made to be like visible, what do you call it, pistons. Although the execution's kind of poor. I wish they kind of had something that they can go into, right? But yeah, at least they tried. At least they tried. Give them A for effort or whatever. And he's got these little things that move. I don't know what they do. Little boosters, I have no clue. Although they do look like they might be little guns. Looks like little barrels in there. But that's pretty much it. That's as far as articulation. And he does come with extra parts that you put together. So let's go ahead and get these things put back on. Probably should have done this before, in case you guys get used to seeing how wimpy he looks. I don't think he looks wimpy, but he does have a lot of things that are supposed to go on him. So let's get that put on so you can you know, take a look for yourself if you think he's, you know, looking better with the stuff. I think he's going to look better with the stuff on. So It's a lot of stuff here to produce more bulk. Although because of the lack of instructions, I do have to resort to looking at the box, which is kind of annoying. You should just, you know, I don't know. But anyway, he's got these things here. I guess these are missiles. These are probably handles. We got some more armor. And of course, these awesome knives. And I love the way they do the weathering on the edges of the knives. Really awesome. Although now that I'm looking at the knives, I kind of wish they did the edges silver like they did here. They didn't do this on the actual, you know, release, but it would have been nice. It felt like the blade was kind of missing something. I guess that, I mean, we can always do that. I can always do that. Or anybody that wants to have that look. But I'm just going to leave it like that, since that does require work. And I think these things tab on. We'll go ahead and put everything on. So I've gone ahead and pegged the little gun up here, and then this is this way. This pegs in right over here, or not. I'll be honest, that doesn't really want to go in there. I kind of just wedged it in there just enough for the review today. And then this pegs in here. This pegs over here. Alright, so he's got some nice wings there, like an angel, like an evil robotic angel. Alright, this apparently goes on this side. Hope that pegs in. Oh, that pegged in pretty good. Sorry if you didn't see that. Let's move up. And then these things I noticed were facing back, so that's going to peg right here. That goes in pretty good. And we're going to do the other one right here. Alright, that pegs in a little stiffer than the other one. And then these things go over like this. There's these two little, what do you call it, nubs. I like calling them nubs for some reason. They go in those little holes there. Now before I tab the other one in, I did want to let you see the difference. When you do attach that, it kind of blocks that whole assembly here. So it's kind of cool. They give you an option in case you want to do like a battle-torn one. And I believe, you know, some people out there might actually want to go ahead and customize these. Like, it'd be kind of cool, take a hot X-Acto knife and just cut away some of this armor and then paint the edges like silver, like it just happened. So that's kind of cool. You can probably customize these as you wish. Alright, so we got the stuff on there. Here's his gun. I didn't get to show you guys that. But we're going to go ahead and get his little hands wrapped around this thing. Kind of weird. I don't know if I'm the one that's weird, but I don't seem to be able to get this gun in his hand. Oh, I hate that ratchet. Are you seeing me doing something wrong? No, it's definitely not backwards. But like the fingers don't fit. I don't know what's going on. This is really weird. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Maybe it goes around. No, even then it's just weird. I don't know what's supposed to happen with that gun. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Can't figure it out. I feel dumb. I'm supposed to be reviewing this figure. There's no instructions. Pictures don't show it. And I'm not going to Google it. So, there you go. Awesome. I actually don't want to give up on this. I see the trigger finger there. But I don't see how it's supposed to... I guess it would be like this. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's what makes sense. The trigger finger's right there, right? Just can't... I don't know. There's not even space for the third finger, but apparently it should be something like that. The picture, it's kind of obscured. They show him from behind with the gun, and then another part you only see it like this. So it looks like maybe he's holding it up against his shoulder. So it's whatever. Figure looks awesome. I'm sure I can figure something out, or maybe have access to Google in a little bit. I don't have here, but figure's great overall, guys. If you want to pick one of these up, definitely check out the link in the description below. I'm really liking this series. I mean, I'm used to more high-end stuff, of course, more precision, things like that. But there's something about these that makes me want to buy them. I don't know. I just love the weathering. They just look really good. They look like small little statues, but like you can actually pose them. That's what I love about them. Not that I'm a big statue guy, but I mean, like, usually you have to get a statue to get a lot of detail. But this, you know, it's a toy. You can play with it. And it's really cool. I guess these things move too. I didn't show you that. But I want to thank my patrons for making these videos possible. There's a link for that also if you want to join. And again, if you're interested in one of these, link it is in the description. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And that's it. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.